What's up, everybody? Bobby Tribal right here. On a serious note, we recorded this podcast originally on August 25th with Manny Cisneros and Mercado. We, not knowing that day that Danny D, the great Danny D, would pass later that evening, both Cisneros and Mercado asked that we dedicate this show to the memory of Danny D, the great automotive painter, artist, and friend who was a mentor to them and a pillar of the lowrider community. Ride in peace, Danny. Peace.
Are you trying to get crazy with this scene? Don't you know I'm loco?
Yeah, no. I try to start him off from the bottom, from sweeping. He didn't even want to do that.
I did that a little bit.
He didn't want to do it.
It's like being a barbershop apprentice,
He
right?
just wanted to fucking be straight in there, like
in the mix,
with a paint
you know?
gun. And I'm like, dude, you gotta wait, because that's how I was showed. I was showed the old school way.
Yeah.
You know. So I didn't get to paint right away. I learned from bottom up.
What's happening, everybody? It's Bobby Tribal, aka Bobby Ruiz, and it's time for that Lower Left podcast. Today we got some local dudes, real good friend of ours, Johnny Be Good and myself. What's up, Johnny?
Not much. How you?
I'm good.
Another show,
I'm
huh?
good,
We
yeah.
got two artists here.
We do. Some dudes who've been making some noise for San Diego, some international noise, some local badass dudes. We got we'll call them the master and the student, or we could call it dude, you look like way bigger than him too.
I am.
That chair, I think, is all the way down.
We got the man who, I think this is the first guest who walked in with his own 12-pack. Manuel Cisneros, also known as Manny Cisneros. Manny Cisneros, what's happening?
Hello.
How you doing there?
How's it going? Good. Great. Doing good.
And a guy we like to call Johnny Market. Johnny Market, aka Mercado, the San Diego protege, the guy who's out there painting all the baddest. This motherfucker can paint, Johnny.
Yeah, I know. Well, have you seen his car up close?
Come on,
in
man.
person.
He's got probably the baddest paint job in San Diego, hands down. Yep. No questions about it.
You guys really think so, man?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm not
that,
sitting
man.
here trying to blow smoke up your ass, but for real, dog, that car
that's
is
badass.
a great job. What did you see in this kid, Manny, to get him like, or did he like? How did that happen? So he was your apprentice for years, right?
For about a year, I think. How long? Fool?
It was about a year. Like I said,
So
I
you
was
could
doing
only
it for,
tolerate him for a year.
Yeah, and he just flipped me off. Like, all right, just leave, dude.
I mean, but it's not like he was working with me every day. He'd come like once a week, and I tried to teach him from the bottom, dude. But he was so hungry that he didn't want to do it like that. He wanted to dive in like right away.
Yeah.
I think he was like 15
I was like 15, 16.
when he was already like trying to do it like that.
Yeah. So you started him off with pinstriping.
Yeah. No. I tried to start him off from the bottom, from sweeping. He didn't even want to do that.
I did that a little bit.
He didn't want to do it.
It's like being a barbershop apprentice,
He
right?
just wanted to fucking be straight in there, like
In the mix,
with a paint
you know?
gun. And I'm like, dude, you gotta wait, because that's how I was showed. I was showed the old school way,
Yeah.
you know. So I didn't get to paint right away. I learned from bottom up, which is from like buffing to.
Wait, let me back up just a little bit real quick for the listeners. Yeah, these dudes are artists. They're car painters, they're sign painters, they're pinstripers. They do custom paint jobs, patterns. Basically, they're custom car painters, motorcycles, shop windows. It's they mostly work with one shot candy paints.
Metal flakes,
resins, all that good stuff. So it's an international art form. So we'll go back to your story. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I jumped in, but
I
it's all
know, I
right.
didn't mean to fuck you up.
It's all good.
It's all good.
All right, go.
So my name is Manny Cisneros.
We already did all that.
No. They have to know how long I've been doing this for.
Oh, okay.
Not everybody knows me, bro.
All right. All right, go.
I am a Mexican-American, for those that thought I was like Filipino or something.
I did say Manuel Cisneros,
yeah.
right?
So I've been doing this.
Filipino. He looks like him and I have been confused once or twice as being one brothers, two Filipino.
Yeah. Same birthday.
Yeah, Manuel and I share a birthday.
Right.
Yeah. Him, Manuel, Isaac, Quesada, the tattoo artist here, and myself.
Isaac looks Filipino too.
Yeah.
So
something happened right there.
What is that, dude? What's up with that?
Fucking indigenous blood, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All three of us. You're right. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
We all kind of have that Hawaiian Filipino.
We're all buchones,
and we're
especially
all
me.
straight Mexicans. So, anyways, back to your boy, Market.
So the story about him?
Yeah.
He came to the shop.
We'll get to you.
He I first met him at a pinstriping gathering after we had just gone to do a Car Warriors with
It was at
Danny
Ronnie
and
Customs,
Bugs.
right?
No, it was in Arizona at one of Tony's pinstriping jams.
Yeah.
I think he was like 13, man.
Nah, it was
your dad had
it was like 14, 15 around there.
Yeah, you fucked that one all up.
Yeah.
Well, you were fucking little, skinny. Yeah. You look like a little kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I
and
met him there.
He was pinstriping already?
No, he had a camera there. I think you had been messing around with it.
I was just messing around with it, but it was just for fun. You know, I didn't think it was going to turn into.
But
anything,
he loved the lowrider artists like Danny and Bugs. He loved those guys, and so
and Manny too. You know, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you had just. Did you already know about me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know about you.
He had already been doing like YouTube searches and.
Yeah.
And I think the show. I don't think the show had came out yet.
No, but I've seen you. You're already involved with like custom shop. You know, I've seen you like the advertisement.
Yeah.
And so I put two and two together that you were a San Diego striper.
Yeah.
You know. So you're one of my first connects.
So we met him out there in Arizona, and then I had a panel jump at San Diego Running Custom when I worked with Abe.
Yeah.
And he came to that, and he was young still with his dad, and dude, I'm still doing it. He has some panels, and he was like, hey, you mind if I come over here to the shop and help out? I'm like, yeah, dude, whenever you want.
Here's a broom.
Yeah, which was the first day. Yeah, I was like, here's a broom, man. This is, you got to start off with this. And then he started, but I could tell he was like really, he was into it, man. He was looking at all the cars, the way he was looking at everything. So, I knew he has a passion for it. And,
yeah.
Usually when you first start off with this kind of work, it's kind of, people are very standoffish. They don't want to help you. They're kind of smart asses and sarcastic. I guess that's how some painters are. But I wanted to change the direction because I knew that this guy wasn't going anywhere. So I could either treat him with respect and try and help him along, and hopefully he'll pay me back one day.
Or just drop me right there.
Or just be rude and be like, hey, get away from me, dude. Like, I don't want nothing to do. But I didn't want to do that because I'm not like that, So I was like, no, I want to be there and I want to help this dude out. I knew that he loved cars and shit. So I was like, you know what? I even told him he could borrow my car one time.
The 62 wagon.
He borrowed my 62.
The black one.
Mm-hmm.
He borrowed it.
For a photo shoot.
I didn't think he was going to do it. But he was like 16 years old, man. How old are you? 17? Senior year?
No, it was senior year. I was like 17.
Yeah, so he came to the shop and borrowed the wagon and took it.
Took it out for a cruise.
Took it for
my first lowrider right there.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
And then what was his progression like? Like how did he started learning? He was a fast learner, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he had, like right away, he's like wanted to learn how to paint. He was just very eager and very, like very metiche kind of, like very impatient, anxious, and I was like, just chill, bro. Like, just slow down. Everything happens slowly, and he wasn't intimidated by it, man. I was, I started out, I was intimidated by paint. I started pinstriping and I was afraid to do all that because I thought that was for other people. I thought that was for people that were professional and knew what they were doing. He didn't care, dude. He just dived right in. If you fucked it up, whatever, he didn't care.
So we'll do it again,
Yeah, I wasn't like that. I'm very careful. I don't like making mistakes, and I hate doing shit twice.
Yeah.
So the very first time I got a paint gun was with Benny Flores, and I cleared his gas tank, and I destroyed it, man. I turned it into it looked like rhino lining. After that, I never cleared again for like another 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
I was like, I would always have Benny clear my shit, or try to get somebody else to clear it until finally I'm like, I gotta learn how to do this, man. So I finally.
Yeah.
Figured it out. So,
So then he took off on his own. But I guess, so how did you start? How did you start, Manuel? How did you start pinstriping and painting And you know, I know you've had some pretty badass rides yourself.
Yeah.
And bikes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I know you've had some real sick bikes, and you've done some cool custom shit. You had that chop top Chevy, the orange one.
Yeah, the 36.
Yeah.
My 5 window.
The 36 too. So how did you get into it and start painting?
I started pinstriping when I was 21, and I'd been into graffiti and stuff, but I was just never good at it. And I just couldn't. I was just one of those guys that couldn't find like my niche. You know, I kept trying to do things and I just wasn't good at them. So one time I finally picked up a pinstriping brush at a friend's house and I started doing it just on my own. I didn't, never put it down. I picked it up and I wouldn't stop doing it. And that one right there, like nobody showed me. I just was doing it on my own.
Yeah.
So after that, I went on a deployment and I practiced every day. And then by the time I got back, I was pinstriping people's cars.
So you were in the military?
Yeah, I was in the Navy.
Yeah, for how long?
4 years.
So basically, you learned while you were in the Navy.
Yeah, I just taught myself in
On
there.
the ship, huh?
Yeah, the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Just one shot and
a brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of panels and.
But before you even had like a Mac brush, you were using something else, right?
Yeah, I was using an artist brush for like 3 months, and so I mastered that. But I didn't master it, but I figured it out. So by the time I got a real brush, I was like, oh, this is easy. This is way easier. So,
yeah.
Was there anybody on the ship that you could talk to about pinstriping?
No, everything was through magazines.
Through magazines.
Yeah, I had a subscription to Ron and Custom and like Car Culture Deluxe. I think I just first came out, and then I just kept like looking through every single picture of Street Rodder and Custom Rodder. They had a bunch because I was always into customs. I grew up in Orange County, so you know there was a lot of like negative vibes that came from lowriders. So I was like, I tried to stay away from them because I didn't want to, be in trouble.
Yeah.
Usually Regals and Paul were associated with gangsters, so I was just trying to not get myself into trouble. There was always like fights at car shows, and there was always drama, man. So I started out more into the rockabilly scene and like custom culture and Moon Eyes and stuff like that. So
I tried to kind of the whole greaser thing.
Yeah, I've always been like that, man. I was like Mercs and things like that. So.
Always had the pomp too.
Yeah.
So before all that, why don't you tell me about Morrissey?
Oh yeah, I was on a Morrissey, man. What Mexican guy isn't?
Me. I like the Cure.
I'll tell you this. One thing I did find about that is that it's a subculture for the guys that didn't have dad around. So
really?
A lot of guys look to Morrissey as a father figure.
Let me ask the question then. So why is it you think that so many Chicanos, not including myself, are into Morrissey and the Smiths? Like, or basically Morrissey, right? Like, why is that? I
honestly think it's because of an absent father.
Really?
I seriously think it's that. I think it's deep down. A lot of guys are very. The Mexican culture is very macho and very like not show your emotions. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of dudes were very upset that father was absent. And some guys were soft enough, like me, to say, this is my music and I like it.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. So
wow, I've never heard that. I've heard different. I don't remember what it was, but I have heard different theories and different reasons why people think that generation, or even now, like the emo people were. Yeah. Shout out to my emo primo, Frankie Quinones.
Yeah, he got it down. He had to have that haircut though, man. Right. I didn't roll like that.
He's so lame.
He is. His shit is lame, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't that soft.
Yeah. That's the man right there.
It was like I used to hang around with some thugs, man, and they would always try and get me to shave my head. Hey, shave your head, dude. Come to the dark side. I'm like, man, I'm not raised in a neighborhood.
So what was your hair like when you were?
I had a pompadour.
So you were into Morrissey with the
pompadour. Yeah, I was like a greaser guy.
But you were still into like Social Distortion.
Yeah, well, I started with Morrissey in like 9th grade, and then I loved his music, and then I got into the Smiths. And then I got it. Oh, yeah, I used to go to house parties during all this. So up in Orange County,
you went to high school at Big Tiny, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I just heard his podcast too.
Big Tiny's the shit. So you guys went.
Yeah, we had lockers right next to each other.
Yeah,
yeah. He did. You know what's the trip about Tiny?
Were you afraid?
Shout out to my boy Tiny, man, but he's always looked like that. He's looked like that since I was a fucking 9th grade. Big ass dude.
Since the 9th grade.
Same smile, same stance, everything. Dog, I used to see him at house parties. And you always knew where he was at because he'd be in the corner.
You see the top of his head.
Until all of a sudden he disappeared.
Yeah.
And that's when he went to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went away to college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Anaheim then?
Buena Park.
Buena Park.
Yeah.
And then when did you come down here after the military?
So yeah, I was in the Navy and I ended up getting stationed at North Island in 1998. So I've been in San Diego since 1998. And San Diego is the only city that like you're never accepted. You know, I'm still the guy from not here. Even though I've been here my whole adult life.
I think that
people still tell me, you're not from here, huh? I've been living here my whole life now. Yeah.
Really?
Why?
Yeah, dude.
What do you think?
I don't know, dude. It's a trip. Like in LA.
I think
like,
it's just you.
It probably is. I'm the guy that just doesn't get accepted. That's me. Anywhere I
do
go.
we have like
Morrissey.
a
Morrissey.
There's Mac
Cue the music, you know?
That's right. Can we do that? Can we?
Yeah, keep some Morrissey right there, no?
little violin or some shit. that would be. But then, so you established your. So who gave you the opportunity to start pinstriping their cars, or you started doing your own?
You know what? Some of the guys from Crowd, man. I pinstriped Ronnie's car from the Crowd, and Sherry's car from Crowd. I did theirs first, and then Michael Choa had hit me up, and it's fun. That's a funny story. I don't even know if I should tell it. I don't know
Why?
if I have time or anything, but it's a funny story.
Yeah, you could tell it.
So
Mike's the shit.
I started out with custom culture, man, and like flames and hot rod style pinstriping. You know, I a little bit of scroll. I wasn't too big on it. And then I hadn't struck any lowriders yet or anything. I didn't even want to. I didn't think that was for me. You know, the straight lines are really hard to do. And new lowriders had a ton of them. So I was like, I just like doing this shit, you know. So I used to know a guy named Tony Falcon who used to work at Lancer's Bar off Adams Avenue. And he had like two cars, man. He had a 59 Ford Fairlane wagon, and he had a 60 Pontiac, and all laid out by Little D. I don't know if you remember him.
He worked on my 59.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, he's badass.
Yeah,
I think his IG's Dirthead Dave.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel, a really successful
he's
show right
too.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, so I go into Tony's bar and I said, "Hey man, let me flame your wagon. You know, I'll do it for like $500." And he was like, "Yeah, sure, man." So I did. He used to live off of Monroe Street. Well, I see a trash truck one day driving by, and I see like a you know, what do you guys call him? A pelon. You know, see a Mexican dude, the dark shades, you know, like an SA dude. I'm like, oh shit, dude. And he was like looking at me right in the driveway. And so he gets out, and I'm like, oh shit, I wonder if like I put a trash can wrong or maybe what's going on right here. You know? He's like, hey, homie,
beat me up.
He goes, hey, you do pinstriping? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, I want you to get down on my Cadillac. And I'm like, oh shit, you know what? I don't really do cars like that, man. And he's like, no, dude, do my car, man. So sure enough, man, I went to his house and did his car. And that's what started me like doing lowriders.
Whose car was that?
It was Michael Choa's. He had
it was Mike's
big
car.
body.
It was a gold one, right?
Oh,
Yeah, it was
okay.
a gold big body.
I remember.
Yeah.
Right on. Mike's a legend, dude. Mike's a SD legend. That dude's been around a long time. I remember seeing him back in the fucking early 80s with his black 64.
Yeah.
He had a black 64 that he was always in the streets, and then he's in one of the the panty puller, which originally was called Flamingo Kid. That car was built by a guy named Danny. Not built, but Danny had painted it, and then Mike got it. It was a guy from Group back in the early 80s.
Yeah, and it had a Bob and Son interior.
Yeah,
too.
it was a badass car, and that paint job was sick. Who painted that? Big Ed?
I believe it was Big Ed.
Yeah, I think so too. It was a trippy pearl hot pink. It was
that car was bad,
car.
man. With
Where
the
is that
Hollywood
car?
I have no idea, man. I got lost.
And then Mike got it, and he called it the panty puller. Yeah, that car was bad. But that's in Carl and him are cruising in that car in one of the old tribal videos. But Mike was a good dude. But so pinstriping, you already mastered that. But I know you do patterns too.
Yeah.
Like you patterned the C10.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had this bright idea to do the roof, and I had never seen a C10 with a patterned roof before you did mine.
Yeah.
But now you see them all the time.
Yeah.
But I thought we were onto something new, and like I said, I had never seen it. Like just the roof, not the sides, just the roof.
Yeah.
Because the way that truck laid, I thought it was a good idea just to do the flat part of the roof. But
Yeah, I think it was bad. And it had a body drop on it too.
yeah,
huh?
it was sick.
Even after it was painted, the body dropped.
Abe did that. So Gabe did the rear end, and Abe did the front end, and Manny painted and striped it and patterned the roof. So what about who were your inspirations for doing patterns and pinstriping and stuff?
At first, it was all I used to look at a lot of like hot dogs paint jobs and stuff. And then I met Benny, and then I really started, his stuff started growing on me. And, then I seen the lifestyle cars and Walt and Mario style paint jobs. And I was like, man, that's badass,
Danny
man.
D.
And, and then Danny, I started seeing Danny stuff. And so that's when I was like, man, this is really cool, because it was a unique style that they blended the custom style with, their paint jobs are very tasteful and they flow like water, like their designs are very elegant, clean, and
timeless,
proportioned. And I don't know, to me, man, they just look right,
Yeah.
So, I mean, Danny and Bugs really, kept it going, and then he started doing them, and so it's cool that they don't change, Mm-hmm. It's crazy how that style paint job, back when I seen them, I was trying to get guys to do that kind of work, man, and they didn't like it. They were like, no. And then fast forward now, what is it, 20 years?
They're starting to
now
get into it.
Now people are starting to like them,
The patterns, you mean?
Those style of patterns.
Like white base patterns and like paint jobs that are heavily
with
reliable.
Neat designs and stuff. And, to me, man, that this art form, I think all art form musicians or artists, it's kind of like you're in an ocean, man. And you just kind of you have to ride the right wave. And that right wave has to see you when you're there, and whoever gets on it, well, it's your turn, because I was telling Mercado, I used to love that style of work, and I've even done it on my own cars, but it wouldn't hit. Like, nobody would hit me up for work. Like, I did my 62 wagon like that with variegated lines. And after Mercado started doing a lot of variegated work and putting it on Instagram, people were asking me, hey, do you know how to do that? Because I want that. I'm like, dude, I was doing that like 5 years ago and nobody liked it. And then now that he's doing it, everybody's like, oh, yeah.
No, that's super true that he talked about that.
You think it's because of the way he looks? Or his age?
Good looks, right?
Probably like Morrissey.
You know what I think?
Probably listen to Morrissey.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what it was.
So what do you enjoy doing? Like, do you enjoy painting or pinstriping more?
Pinstriping. My hands, I probably got about 30 years good with my hands. Then you start getting old and you start getting problems, you start shaking. So I would rather lay down pinstripe lines than be in a paint booth.
So pinstripe lines, correct me if I'm wrong, are pulled, right?
Yeah, with a brush.
But they're always pulled and not ever really pushed, right? Or
so you're always pulling it. Yeah.
Depends, man, what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've pushed them. Like if you got to go the opposite way on something, nothing is ever, And
then you guys have workshops and shit that you do, right? And I know, you just did a workshop.
Just finished mine. Yeah.
Manny just
tell
had one
tell me
over the
about
weekend.
that. It was yours, or how'd that go down?
Yeah, I hooked up with Bugs, and we just do 3-day pinstriping classes and on how to pinstripe. So we do sign paint, a little bit of sign lettering, and scroll design, because Bugs is like the master at scrolls and lettering. So it's 3 days of just doing that. It's a really good experience, man.
And people come from where to go?
This last time this guy came all the way from Texas last weekend.
And you do them here?
Yeah, just doing it at my shop. I did one in March with Bugs in Arizona.
So you're teaching people how to pinstripe and just pinch. And how about painting?
Painting, Danny and Bugs and Mondo do one up in Coast Airbrush. Yeah, but there's classes all over the place for that.
So Market said he doesn't go to those classes anymore.
Me?
Did you go?
I used to get invied.
Did you go?
No.
I went this past weekend.
The going rate for him to show up.
Oh,
it's going up.
Yeah. Just to make an appearance, right?
Yeah.
No, I stopped by over the weekend. I took the Ribby out there. Showed some support to Manny.
That's cool.
But I've done a couple of them in the past, and
I actually did the first one I did at TCP in Miramar.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was
all of a sudden you forgot.
Nah, don't play me like that. Nah.
Hey, so
I think that's cool because, like you said, not a lot of people will show new people, the ropes pretty much, but you're like offering it, so that's like different, right, compared to other pinstripers or artists.
It's gonna happen, man. Like regardless, if somebody is meant to do something, they're gonna do it.
Keep going at it.
I think we messed up we as being artists, automotive designers, messed up by having that attitude that like you're the only one that can do this, because that'd be like saying like, you're an automotive designer that works for Mitsubishi and only you can do this automotive designing with clay. You don't want nobody else to do it. And it doesn't work like that, man.
It's going to die out.
The more we're together, the better it's going to end up. If we work together and keep everybody in the same circle, we win.
And pushing each other and taking it to another level.
That's why
and elevating each other.
I knew he was going to be my competition, so I was like, I need to try and show him to not cut me out one day or to cutthroat me when he's 10 years into this, and we're having to battle with each other over work, because I have a family, I do this for a living, and this is how I pay my mortgage. Yeah. So it would suck to have a guy that I mistreated 10 years ago, and now guess what? He's going to go and cut all my prices down. And then now what? It'd be better to communicate,
And I said, we got that good relationship. We built a very good relationship, even outside of pinstriping. I said, we go hang out, we go to bars and shit. But as far as that, like, he embedded it in my head to like, hey, dude, like, I'm helping you out, and I still want to be friends. Besides being competition and all that, even like we send each other work. It's not just it's just about me. Yeah. And even we kind of look out after each other, like, hey, don't mess with this customer. This guy's just gonna Jew you down. He's gonna call you. He's just window shopping.
Everybody knows.
Yeah. I think that goes with anything, because I know fast food, right? So McDonald's. No, this is true.
Johnny said, "This is no fast food."
So,
how do you know fast foods?
I don't know. Growing up in the 90s is.
I used to work there too, bro. I worked at KFC and McDonald's.
Yeah. So when McDonald's first started, they owned the block, right? Because there was no other like fast food hamburger spots. So when Burger King opened up, across the street. They thought their business was going to go to shit, but it actually did the opposite, because there's plenty of people. So when McDonald's is full, people would go over to Burger King. When Burger King's full, the people would go to McDonald's. So they both won. And it's a healthy,
different taste.
But you guys have unique styles too. So I think it's the style that they want, and I know you both stay pretty busy. And Mercado was he's a member of Lifestyle Car Club.
That's correct.
And I know Lifestyle has been known since forever for having some of the baddest paint jobs. Yeah. Period. Like, they were known for some of the sickest builds. And the paint jobs, from way back, the cars that Joe Ray was putting out in the early 80s. And then just the history of Lifestyle. And I know you not only painted your own car and took dude, you got down on that car, dog. Like,
thanks, Bobby.
Yeah, no, you really did, bro. And that's what I always tell people when they talk about the Rivi, they see your car. You won some awards at San Diego's Finest as people. The kid owns the car, built the car, and he painted the car himself.
Yeah, I was very, very involved with that car. Yeah,
except the murals. Your mural theme was. Oh yeah, dude. When you told me the theme before anybody saw it,
I seen the look in you, and I was like, I know, and it's really hard to impress you, Bobby. Yeah. And when I told you about it, what I had in mind, like, I remember you just had a serious face, and it was just like, working in your mind, you're like, man, that's like, nobody's ever done that on a car.
Badass.
And tell us about that. It was very well thought out.
What is it? And tell us about it, and who's on that mural.
It's the mural of my car. It's themed, after the 27 Club, and I named the car after a Doors song. That's, when the music's over. Yeah. And, kind of going back to the history of the club and all that, if you guys know about the club, a lot of the cars are named after Doors songs, Pink Floyd songs, Led Zeppelin.
Classic rock.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And, I grew up liking that music, and I'm a big Doors fan. So that's one of the things that really gravitated.
I think that's mandatory in Lifestyle, pretty much, that you like the Doors.
I think I fit right in.
Pink Floyd.
And even before me getting to the club, I just made that correlation. Like, I never thought classic rock went with lowriders. When I started seeing Lifestyle was into the Doors, and it was just like, it's not your typical soundtrack. It's not your typical more bounce to the ounce, Zapp and Roger, which is like,
and all that. Yeah. I love that. I love that about Lifestyle. And I love that about that they did that, because even, a lot of people were like that, man. They like to put us in a box, and they like to tell us if you like low riding, you got to bump soul and oldies and funk.
No, and I still, to this day, I've had people tell me, like, why are you bumping the Doors in there? Why Led Zeppelin? I'm like, dude, why not? Yeah. This thing sounds fucking badass. You turn that shit all the way up, and you're turning heads.
So the 27 Club. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead and explain.
Yeah, going back to, I was trying to figure out a name for the car, and I was putting some thought into it and kind of going down the list of what songs have been taken. And I seen When the Music's Over had it been taken, and I was aware of the whole 27 Club phenomenon in the music world. And, I've seen the documentaries and all that. So I knew the history of it. So right then and then I made the connection when the music's over, 27 Club, Jim Morrison of the Doors. He's part of the 27 Club. That's his song right there. So that's when I started, doing my research and, I looked up the list. There's a lot of singers and musicians.
Tell people. Yeah. So the 27 Club is basically musicians that
tragically died
at 27 years old. And on that list and in your mural, who's on your mural besides? I know I'm not going to name them all off, so I'll let you do it because.
Yeah, I started doing my research and like I said, I wanted to be a well thought out car and theme. He goes, I know, Bobby, if I didn't think it out right, he would have given me shit, straight up. He would have told me, hey, that shit's whack,
Nah,
even Manny.
Not me. but that goes back to people that inspire you and that give you motivation and we push you a little bit. And not just
exactly
us.
Right.
Like, I know David De Vaca has been a huge influence on you too.
He put me on game.
David,
he's a big influence.
Shout out David De Vaca. I know he's your neighbor.
He's your neighbor, right?
Yeah. And he's always had a lot of positive things to say about you.
He always put me on game and, he told me straight, he wouldn't sugarcoat, hey, you got to do it like this. This is style, this is that, 520. So at an early age, I grasped the concept and, and I was able to put it into my car and, with that mural, started doing my research and, there's a mixture of different, musicians in there, like drummers, guitarists, but I narrowed it down. I wanted to do just lead singers and I chose the most high profile singers on there. So there's a total of about like 69 people on the list, but I put on my trunk, I got about 15 on there.
Who are they?
I got Amy Winehouse, Brian Jones, the Rolling Stones, Mia Zapata. She was a grunge singer, died around the same age as Kurt Cobain and was actually from Seattle as well. So she's on the list. Fat Pat, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Linda Jones. So I chose, they're just all lead singer and Valentina Elizalde, famous corrido singer. So the people tripped out. They're like, they would have never thought to see Kurt Cobain on the lowrider, Amy Winehouse. So, I chose all the pictures, so I narrowed it down. So I put some thought into it and, the
I
whole
love
position.
it. I love that whole, like thinking out of the box and doing what the fuck you want to do and not living by the stereotypes and having to do it this way or that way.
No, exactly. And that's what was that car, that was all about, just being different. I chose Riviera. It's not your typical Impala, not knocking down Impalas, but I wanted to think out of the box. And, I always liked the first generation body styles of the Rivieras. And originally I was looking for a 65, but a 63, came up for sale. And at the time I already had my 62 wagon. So 63 came up for sale and bought it. And originally it was going to be just a metal flake roof, true spokes.
I remember that. Yeah.
You remember how it looked?
Yeah.
So metal flake the roof on top of the old paint, everything bubbled up, man. So I made the decision, I'm going to media blast this whole car and I'm going to do a complete build. And that's when I started, flirting with the idea of getting into lifestyle. So I had the car all taken apart and that's when I started asking, what I need to do to get into the club. Sold my true spokes, brand new true spokes and got me some straight lace, Yeah. that's the mandatory wheel for the club. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of snowballed real quick, man. I would have never thought the car would have turned out to what it was.
Yeah. You just recently put an LS in it too, right?
Got an
right
LS
before
motor.
San Diego's finest.
Just in time.
Yeah. And then, so you're painting a lot of cars for lifestyle now too, huh?
Got a couple cars in line, couple new cars coming out. And so I'm, one of the go-to guys for the club now because I proved myself with the Riviera and, being the youngest member of the club right now. And it was
how old are you?
27.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
27.
Oh, shit. Well, hey,
Don't-
don't let him out.
I'm 27.
We'll have Manny do a no.
I'll take care of him.
Damn. Shh, Dad. So,
Protect
dude.
Mercado at all costs.
Don't end up on your car.
But I know
Right.
this dude, like what I really respected, that this dude right out the gate, one of the first times he took this fucking car on the street, you drive it.
Oh, yeah,
And I know
I drive
you drive
it,
the
man.
shit out of it. Is he fucking scrapes it. Like you have some
Yeah.
titanium
Oh, yeah,
on
I
it,
got
huh?
2 titanium
Love
blocks.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, just scraping the shit out of it and that badass paint job. And
That's how you gotta do it, man. You gotta have fun.
And I was tripping out the feedback I got from that. Like I did it. We went out to the Arizona Super Show last year, and that was right before COVID hit. So I'm over here thinking I'm all gassed up. Just came out of Roadster Show, busted the car out. It's gonna be a good year, So we went to Arizona. Just had freshly put on those titanium blocks, and my club brother, Gabriel, with the Heartbreaker, he had called me out and he's, hey, I'm going to light it up on you. And he wasn't aware that I had titanium.
Oh, shit.
So I was just...
So nobody knew you had it?
Nah.
Badass. What happened?
So I kept it like quiet all weekend. And because they knew I was scraping, but it, they didn't really know that it was titanium. They thought I was just scraping just the frame. Yeah. So I ended up scraping the whole ramp of State Farm Stadium, Nice. And security got fucking pissed off at me.
Nice.
That's when everyone got a first glimpse of it. But then once we got out to the main street outside the stadium, that's when we scraped at the same time. And my other clip brother, Bellon, took the video and we uploaded it and it went viral, man. Yeah. Like people were just
I love titanium, dude. That when I was in fucking high school, I was sliding titanium. The truck had that titanium block.
I remember that
too.
Yeah, and it was rounded on
C10.
The back.
Yeah, yeah. It's fun, dude.
Oh, it's a rush, man.
That's good shit.
And I got mixed emotions. People were like super hyped up about it, and then there's a good handful of people like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? You don't deserve that car. This and that.
Oh God!
And people didn't know me. People didn't even know me.
Forward your bills to them, so
I know.
Since they're so interested.
Yeah, people were like, some people were just mad about it.
Mad dogging you.
Yeah,
you're banging shit.
Yeah, you're banging shit. Pretty much, dude. And then I was telling, hey, good thing I know a good painter to fix it. So
yeah, that's right.
And for as many times,
did anything happen? Nothing happened to the car, right?
And for as many times I've scraped it, it's held up, man. I guess that car just likes to scrape.
Yeah.
good,
And
man.
What did you put an LS3, LS1 in it?
I got LS1 in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it got a little complicated because like we did it after the build, so it was kind of like afterthought.
Yeah.
But if on my next build, that's gonna be the first thing that I do.
So what is that?
Yeah. What?
The next build.
It's gonna be another Rivy.
You have it already?
I possibly might have it.
You know what? I heard a little rumor that he possibly might sort of kind of maybe has one maybe in the works.
But I got the wagon in the works too.
I remember that.
62.
I remember that wagon.
Yeah.
And you sold your wagon too.
I got 59 rag I'm working on.
Clean.
Yeah.
In my head.
It's clean, huh?
Yeah.
I figure these days all you gotta say is you're working on something and it's actually
they're kind of
59s
in general. I think are
hey,
rare.
Manny, I'm thinking about getting one. Oh, that guy's coming out hard.
Yeah. Oh, shit, be careful.
Yeah. Well, you could probably trade a couple paint jobs for one.
I know.
Or four paint jobs
for 59, 58.
59.
Yeah, I like the 59. So I like the cat eyes and I like the wings a lot.
And there are not too many in San Diego.
No.
Nah, not really.
Right?
Yeah. Yours is one of the nicest ones.
Well, gee, thank you. But I mean, there's not. I mean, not just because of mine, but I don't think there's the one Roby had.
Miguel has one, right? Alatorre has one.
Canada?
But I haven't seen it out in a long time.
It's been put away.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't seen that one in.
But it's still in existence.
A couple of years, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, besides that, nah, dude, I don't think Click doesn't have one.
Well, Junior from Orange County has that green one, right?
No, we're talking about San Diego, bro. See, there you go with your Orange County stuff again.
Oh.
You're from San Diego now.
Okay. I forgot.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why nobody.
To me, San Diego goes from San Isidro to like San Fernando.
Hey, you know what I was thinking, Manuel? You know who I thought about today? When you were coming in today, I thought Gus was gonna come with you and hustle me.
Nah. What? I gotta keep those guys at home, bro. I'm trying to take them somewhere they cost me money.
Yeah.
He's a hustler, bro.
I know.
He'll get you for something.
Oh man, mm-hmm. How old is he?
11.
This dude comes in and he's got a plan.
He does.
He comes in, he has a plan, and he'll tug at your heartstrings. He'll make
and you give in.
Oh yeah. Well, there was several of us that gave in last time. Who ended up buying?
He got a whole skateboard.
Blabs ended up buying him some stuff, right?
Yep. Blabs got on the skateboard, Johnny.
Yeah.
When was this?
Like when I did a little window over here. Yeah.
It was for something. Because so your daughter Elsie, she did a great job touching up the truck. Yeah. But she's into pinstriping now too, huh?
She's into art, automotive design.
But she does color matching.
Canvas. Yeah, she color matches.
She fixes scratches and stuff. And how old is she now?
She's 15.
Dude, she did a great job on my truck too.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
you can't see, like, she did a great job color matching it, and she did it real clean. I was like, Manny, are you sure? Like, and you're like, yeah, she got it. Let her go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like,
No, she
and I'm
gets
like,
it. You know.
And I was like, well, are you sure, dog? Like, she's touching my, like, and he's like, yeah, no, she's got it.
Yeah, she did a guy's truck that came to my shop, I think 3 months ago, and he came in and he called me on the phone and he was like, oh, I need all this stuff touched up, as well as like some pinstripes that were like faded, and I go, oh, that's no problem, I'll have my kid do it, and she comes walking out of the shop and he's like, where's your kid? I'm like, it's her. And he's like, she's gonna do it? And I'm like, yeah.
He was already.
He thought I was talking about like a boy, you
Yeah.
know? I'm like, go ahead, Elsie. And she did it all. From getting the color to making it to matching it. I didn't do anything.
And she enjoys it.
Yeah, she loves it.
It's cool that she's got an interest for it. He was like, a couple years back, like she didn't really get it. Especially even like hanging out with us, you know, we're fucking a couple
playing
of dumb
around.
ass times, you know.
Poor girl.
And she was like, "Oh my god, you guys are stupid," and this and I wouldn't laugh at her jokes, but now like she gets it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
She gets the whole vibe.
She just turned 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a quinceañera for
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Ben
badass.
Lombard is 58 to my house.
What do you think of that car? It was
I think it's
amazing,
bad,
man.
Still bad, man.
I've said it before, and I guess I'll say it again. To me, that's the baddest car ever built out of San Diego.
It's gonna be very hard to top that one.
It's I think people have done some beautiful cars, beautiful beer, but this is just my opinion and what I always tell people, I don't know everything, haven't seen everything, is my opinion, but the class of that car, the timing of that car, when it dropped, the first time I saw that car was at the Torres Empire show, and very, very
Well executed.
well done. Yeah. Well executed, classy build, not like overdone. He used all the right elements, I think.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But you're right. It's going to be hard for somebody to
And I think that's a benchmark for 58 convertibles. That's what Manny and I have talked about it.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah. That's like the template. You know, people are like, we got to at least do this to be able to.
And then
you know,
what the fuck are you going to do
more
to make a car sicker than that?
Without overdoing it.
Without overdoing it.
As far as like that, like you could obviously fully pattern it out and all that, but to keep it in that, you know, solid color, it's like, dude, that car.
And then at that point, it becomes a matter of taste.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
just then, and that's kind of
that
that's,
car's just like right on.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like spot on everything. Yeah.
What about? I know you're way into customs. What's your ultimate custom?
I think the best one is gonna be Paul Cepeda's DeSoto.
That's sick, right?
Yeah.
That was at Legacy 1, I think.
The
Yeah.
red one, right?
It's like
Yeah.
a wine color. And when I invited him to the show, he goes, "Hey, are there any Zephyrs there? Put me right next to the Zephyrs. I want to
Yeah.
be next to the Zephyrs." Like, he was like, "I want to show people what I've done with this car."
I love that car. That's like the best custom.
And then
I've
his
ever
El
seen.
Camino, the way he did that chop top
The
59 El
the gold
Camino.
one?
was
That one,
sick.
and then
Didn't he buy it back? I think he got it back, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he
he did get it back because I had asked him about that.
he did, but I wrote in it, and the glass it's cut so low that it kind of gives you like vertigo
Really?
because of the way the glass is
The
shaped.
bend.
And with the
So-
chrome dash.
Yeah, I was like, and I've written in his DeSoto. His DeSoto's you sit in there, it's like a couch. And it's chopped, it's
and the
laid out.
soda's juiced,
It's
isn't
fucking bad, dude. Yeah, it's juiced. He's got no gauges. It's just a smooth Art Deco dash. It's like you're
He's
a
a
piece of
bad.
art.
Is he one of your favorite builders then too?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is, man. All the stuff he does, I love it. I love it because he's very
He's all around. He does it all.
yeah. Well, he just doesn't have a lot of things. He don't have no English wheel. He just does it because that's what he does. That's what he was born to do. And so I appreciate stuff like that because, you know, whatever he sees, he does it. It doesn't matter how he gets there. And that's kind of how I am. Like when I used to build cars, I didn't care about body work or whatever. I just wanted to be on the road as fast as I could. I would get a car and it'd be a shell, and I'd want it to be driving it like next week.
And that's what I would trip out about him, you know, and that's where I think I got some of my drive, because I remember when he had, at the time when he had the 62 wagon, I seen the 60 El Camino. It was just a shell. And he's like, "Oh, it'll be out in a couple months." I was like, "Yeah, right." You know, but I wasn't familiar with this, you know, and next thing you know, all of a sudden I see fully painted it, striped it. I'm like, holy shit, man. And he mobbed it everywhere. That thing went all the way to Santa Maria, back.
Yeah.
So that was super cool how Manny built his cars. They're built to drive. And
none of
that's
my cars,
the mentality that
none
I
of my
have.
cars have ever been on a trailer. None of my cars I never trailered a car to a show. To me, it's like, I don't knock people that do it because that's their business. But me, I built cars to drive them because when I would drive my cars, man, I felt like I was in another dimension. It's like a time lapse.
Yeah.
Everything that's built now is just so generic and like it's like you're in the future. And I think it's cool because I love the future too. But at the same time, you step into a car that makes noise and is loud and rattly and you got
keeps you on your toes.
Knobs and beautiful. Yeah, you can paint the dashes. Everything's made out of metal in there. It's cool, man. I love it. The steering wheels are amazing. I used to drive to Paso Robles and Santa Maria and be on the one and just like listen to music and just like I felt like I was in heaven, man. I honestly was like in my 20s or my late 30s and like just appreciating that because that was like the best place I could be in my life at that time.
Johnny knows that feeling.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like guys with motorcycles. It's the same feeling.
Yeah.
You jump on your bike, you jump in the ride, and you cruise, wherever, and you forget about everything else.
Sometimes I get it, and sometimes I actually feel that, and sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. I think it just depends where I'm at in my head. Like I better not talk about drinking and driving because that's bad.
Yeah, it's usually. Yeah.
Well, hypothetically, it's good to have a beer before you start driving.
Go from winery to winery.
Yeah,
because then you're not so
the ride.
Exactly.
But honestly,
at that point, you can say you drink
honestly,
and drive.
After 1-2 beers or whatever, all those little sounds that you hear, like what's that noise? And you hear a little squeak or you hear something.
You don't care anymore.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck.
Hey, just turn up the music. What sound?
And then and you're just going, and then the car warms up, and as you go, and then the warmer it gets, the better it starts floating. And then once you hit that floating feeling, and then you're, you got the right music on, and you're chilling, and that's the feeling. That you want. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about, but you're also into bikes. Like you rode a bike in today.
Yeah, I do. I started doing bikes to survive because,
no, but you personally.
Yeah, I ride them too.
Yeah, you enjoy bikes. You had some real sick bikes. You had a bike at San Diego's Finest, and you had that one that was in the gray tones. Like,
that's the same bike. I
just
repainted
that turned out to be the gold one.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because Masa came from Japan. And I was like, I want you to paint something for me.
Tell us about Masa.
So I met Masa.
Masa
Roots.
Yeah, that dude's a beast.
Yeah, did you see what he posted? That
guy.
white, see that white bike?
I've seen that.
Oh my god,
dude, the dudes in Japan.
Yeah, he's in Toyota City.
What's the and what are? There's another Kings or something. What are they called? They do those paint jobs that look like they're resin and they have a lot of depth to them.
Oh, I've seen that one. It looks like
a shell or something. Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
what do you think of the Japanese painters?
They're phenomenal, man. They're amazing. I met Freddie. Freddie is
from Cholos, right?
Yeah, well, Cholos is Cholo.
Yeah,
but Freddie is the main
painter.
He's like the Ed Roth of Japan. Freddie is a guy that Junichi from Paradise Road was using to paint all his stuff, and Junichi was the first guy to do like that kind of stuff that got world notoriety. But Freddie is the same way, man. He works out of this hut and he just does it because that's what he does, man. I seen Next Movie when he redid it, and I seen it there at his shop. And he had, I don't know if anybody is familiar with that car, but
I am. So
you've seen it, right?
Yeah,
so
of course. I've seen it when it was blue, like suede with some patterns, and then I seen the new paint job on it that's far.
So you've seen the roof, right?
Yeah, far fucking.
So did you see those aluminum strips in there, and he makes those little cuts?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did all that by hand. He bends all that aluminum by hand.
No shit.
Yeah, he doesn't have no fucking English wheel in there or no press, nothing, bro. He just uses like cheap tools and that's it. When I went there, I went to Joint's bike show and I ran into Junichi and I told him, I go, I want to meet Freddie because Freddie does not only paints lowriders, but he paints motorcycles.
How old is this dude?
Freddie's like in his 50s, 60s. Japanese guy, yeah.
And his name's Freddie.
Freddie, yeah. Freddie's Nagoya. I don't even know if that's his name, bro.
Is he from what's it? Paradise Road?
No, he's not. You don't even own cars.
Does he have a shop?
He has a shop.
What's his
shop?
Like a hut. What's it called?
It's just Freddy's.
He's from Nagoya, right?
The sign
That's
is
where the
basically,
scene is in Japan. It's
dude.
in
His
Nagoya.
sign is basically on the side. There's like an I-beam, and it's just stenciled, and it just says Freddy's, and it's like this big.
Sounds like my
6
shop.
inches.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like Mercado shop.
For you, it was just like you were like tripping like a dream type shit.
Yeah, even Masa was too. Because Masa was like, in Japan, we don't do this yet. We don't converse with each other like this yet. Like go and visit each other. So for Masa, and then Freddie sees Masa's work, and he's like, "Whoa, this is crazy, man."
That was cool that you were there to experience
Yeah.
that, and you shared that, and you made that happen.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like, because if you wouldn't have gone, then he would have never
would've
met
never
that
went.
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, and I also got to experience something like that too. I visited Japan a few years back, and I got to go
Were
to.
we there at the same time?
No.
What show did you go to?
I went in August.
What
I
show
went-
was it?
No, I just went just for vacation out there. I stayed out there for about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
I went with my brother and 2 other friends. But prior
had
to
friends?
that, what's that?
Nothing.
Yeah, I got you guys. You guys, are my own
That's
friends. So I went out there and I had already talked to Kaz, from Bastard's Designs,
Yeah.
Center Roots, Junichi. So I had already kind of made a plan with the time that I had. And, while my friends, my brother were out in Akihabara checking out the anime district, I was like, I'm going to bust a mission to Nagoya. Met up with Masa, and he took me to Paradise Road, and I was just like geeking out right there, man. Because I've seen all the pictures, and I missed out on the Classic Legend show, and I still regret it not going to it. You
know how many podcasts or how many times that show has come up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was such a big hit. I'd seen all the pictures, and I was just beating myself up.
Johnny
man.
went, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there.
I have a shitload of pictures. I gotta find them.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
did
You get a
anything with them.
poster?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, but I don't know where it's
That
at.
might happen again in like another 10 years.
Man, dude, that was
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to top.
that was the show. Because what's
it
going to
was-
happen is I think being that there was, man, dude, it was like just the right people were there, the right vibe.
And it was the first of its kind.
It was the
in a
first of
way.
its
Yeah.
kind, the quality, and that show opened everybody's eyes to how badass the Japanese are, like building customs,
Yeah.
lowriders, and bikes.
Yep.
And I've only been to Moon Eyes in Japan once, and it was the last time they had it, and that was actually the last time I'd been overseas. It was December of 2019, but I saw some bikes there that were.
Oh, it's amazing. I went to the joints. I seen like carved dragons in motorcycle tanks, like with Bondo, like just and then they paint over it, and it's just all 3D. Looks like a freaking building.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
They're
man.
indescribable.
Yeah, dude.
like you were saying, like some of the shit looks like they're getting abalone shells
Yeah,
and doing like, are they?
yeah. They're
Yeah, on the tanks.
they're insane, dude.
Yeah.
They're insane. But it's their culture, man.
With
They're,
silver. Like
they
mixed-
don't like half-ass and they don't cut corners.
Nah, they
Yeah,
don't.
I
know?
think
Don't
they
do
have
that.
a lot of pride in what
Yeah.
they do, and we're here. People are just trying to make some money. The people that don't really care, they just
Yeah.
whip them out.
No, and they got a lot of pride out there. And I went out to that Shibuya cruise night.
Yeah.
I did not see one raggedy car, man. Like everything was nice and clean, and they take pride in their builds.
Now they do. Like I always tell, when we started going out there in the early 90s, the cars would pull up to wherever we were at, when we do our tribal tours out there, and the cars were like, they were trying,
Yeah.
and it was new to them, and the cars were just like, like a street car, but like a lower end street car. Like they were doing it, dirty white walls and
Yeah.
kind of fucked up, whatever. They had hydraulics and they were whatever.
They were trying
And
to
then
figure it out.
They were trying to figure it out, and now they not only figured it out 100%, but
They're
think
hardcore,
they've
man.
surpassed a lot of the shit that you see out
Yeah.
here. What about that paint job out there that has it's like has texture to it, like a 3D? You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
The 58 that they painted.
the 58 and
I
a
know what you're talking
59.
about. I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah, the engraved one.
Yeah, I'm trying to. The name
But
is
it's not engraved.
It's
not.
it's all
Primer,
high,
bro.
high build primer, and they get a Dremel and they etch
This
into
is
it.
my hand.
Is that how they
Yep.
do it?
Yeah.
And then they spray that sprayable chrome on top of it.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the Mercado next project.
The Cisneros and
Mercado
Mercado's
collab.
Collaboration.
I'll get something for you guys to collab on.
Let's do it.
The truck's right there.
Don't try and get me to do shit wrong.
Why?
Because I need to get there quick. I ain't engraving no fucking car with a Dremel.
The
This shit'll be all fucked up. One line.
No,
that's it.
but you look at the quality of that, not just the concept and what it is and how it's extremely unique and what it is, and people are you stand by that car and there was just a bunch of motherfuckers with their mouths wide open going like, how and people just jaw dropping shit out there.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that it was actually engraved on the metal and they dipped the whole car in chrome, and I was like, man, there's no way, you know, like how the hell did they do it? And I seen how they did.
But how did they get the chrome?
It's sprayable. It's like a spectrochrome.
Yeah,
you know, so they spray it on. So you throw a black base and then you spray.
Why aren't people doing bumpers and trim and shit with that out here?
Oh, they do that, but it's pretty pricey. You know,
it's more expensive than chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have a whole tank because it's like a process.
It's a whole system.
It's like
they spray it. It's like water, and it.
And then they dip it, like the way they do dashboards and shit.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Like the way they do the wood grain stuff.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's done with the hydro something like water
dipping.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, you know. But it's just the system's so expensive, and you know, there's only a few handful of people that actually do it, you know. So you know, chroming plastic, it is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
You know?
So, do you have a next level that you're trying to get to as in regards to painting?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really into doing the club cars right now, and you know, I want to be
experimenting.
Yeah, experimenting with new like textures and effects and
what painters are your? I'm not saying for you to say who's the best, but who are your favorite painters?
My
right
favorites,
now?
like before I even knew anybody, or you know, before I knew Manny and those guys, it was a trip. Because when I really started getting into lowriding, I was living in North Carolina at the time.
What are you doing up there?
Military family. My dad got stationed out there, so I did middle school out there. So that's when you know, Living the Low Life had premiered. You know, it was on the Speed Channel.
Yeah.
So that's when I started.
What was her name?
Vida Guerra. Yeah.
Pendeja.
Yeah, Vida Guerra, man.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I started, you know, watching that shit religiously, like every week, and I seen an episode on lifestyle, and I just those paint jobs, just like, you know, I was just gravitated to those paint jobs, and I started doing my research, like who painted these cars, and I started seeing Mario Gomez, you know, the Candy Factory, Walt Prey had striped all of them, and then, you know, after Mario had passed away, Danny was doing all this stuff, Bugs, so just like all these names that were involved, like I said, Bugs, Danny, it was Stripe as well as painting, so I was like, man, that's a cool combo to be able to know how to paint and stripe. You know, I want to eventually be like that one day. And then when I started coming back to San Diego, that's when I, you know, started looking up who's the San Diego striper. You know, I seen Cisneros, one of them, Cordero. So, you know, a lot of these guys, Manny was like one of the first ones that
Cordero's a badass dude.
Yeah, Victor's a bad dude.
Shout out
man.
Victor Cordero. Yeah. We had him on the podcast. I was trying to get him to talk.
I got a lot of respect for him, man.
Yeah, me too.
You know, he's a all around, you know, badass artist.
Yeah, good dude too.
Yeah, super good dude.
Yeah.
And then I seen, you know, Manny had striped a few cars for Lifestyle. So I was kind of like, all right, you know, Manny knows a lot of these like guys from Lifestyle. So I was kind of slowly getting into it, but not knowing that I was going to get into the club in the future, you know? So, but going back to who inspired me, you know, as far as paint jobs, you know, Mario Gomez had a big inspiration to me. And even Sal, you know, he was known for those crazy resin flake paint jobs, and even going back to his origins, you know, Benny Flores, Big Ed. You know, Big Ed was the one that showed
that was
Benny
the name.
Flores.
That was the name, like back in the early 80s.
Yeah, because he was doing all the metal flake paint jobs for Lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, and that's who Benny Flores and Sal learned how to metal flake from. You know, so they got, you know, history ties with Big Ed, you know. And same thing going back to, I would have never thought I'd learn from Sal as well. You know, Sal kind of dragged me in, you know, and he was, hey, you know, I want to show you how to paint. And, you know, I want to pass you a lot of my knowledge. And that's who I learned how to shoot, you know, resin flake. And I was able to improve on my patterns, you know, because at first I just wanted to stripe, you know, Manny was just trying to keep me on striping. And it just eventually evolved to learn how to paint too, you know, do the full complete paint jobs. And
I know a lot of those paints in the past were real potent and toxic.
Oh yeah.
And are they still that way or not as bad?
No, not as bad. You know, it's still toxic, you know, but they got all the, like the waterborne stuff. But, you know, Manny and I we just like the solvent stuff, man. Yeah. It just dries differently, and that's what we're used to working with.
And you wear good protection and stuff.
Yeah. You know, especially when you're clearing the car, you know, you got to wear that mask, man. That stuff will fuck you up, you know.
Because I've seen some things done with colors. I've seen some really trippy, cool paint jobs that I wouldn't say that like, if you told me about the color in this paint job, I'd go like, eh. But then I seen it in person. Philip Feinlines got down on some caddies and some paint jobs too, and he stripes real nice, and he's a good painter.
Oh, he's a bad dude, man.
He's a badass painter.
He's a good friend of ours as well.
There's a lot of sick painters out there, but ton.
So many.
Albert Dalba
so many
got down on that 58.
Oh yeah, man,
on another level, and he's a kid too.
Yeah,
you know, and that's just talent and having the right people around you.
Yeah,
you know, and the right mentors and people that can show you.
Yeah, and that 58 came out so badass, man. I got to see it. I want to go visit Philip. It was sometime last year, and they were just barely buffing out the car, and I was just like, they're like, we're busting this thing out pretty soon. I was just blown away. I heard about it. I heard talks that they were painting that 58, but I just didn't know how it was going to come out. And when I first seen it, I'm like, holy shit.
That's exactly how I felt. And then once they put the interior in that thing, I was like, fuck, they did it again.
They came together very nice.
Yeah. They what about you, Manuel? Who were your inspirations in regards to like the badass painters, or who do you like now?
Automotive or just all around?
Let's just say all around.
Right now, Felita Pantone.
Who's that?
He's a graffiti artist that moved on to, like, I think he's designing watches for Formula One cars or something like that. But he was doing a lot of big things. And he's world renowned now. Mm-hmm. I think he's from Spain, but he's one of my favorites right now. And then
he's a car painter.
He wrapped the car, but he's like an artist. He does a lot of like monochromatic style art, and his graffiti it's so cool, man. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. So I'm very into like things that haven't been done before. Mm-hmm. Like as you grow as an artist, you start trying to get out of a box that you were in, because, you know, I've been doing this for 21 years now. I didn't even call myself an artist until like, I don't know, 6 years ago. Because I put myself in a box as a pinstriper and as a custom painter, and realized that I just kind of trapped myself, you know. So I realized, like, you know, I need to paint what I want to paint, and I want to do what I want to do, you know. And so I started just opening different avenues, and I seen this guy's art, and I just really inspired by it. So, but for automotive, you know, I don't know, it changes a lot, man. Sometimes, you know, I'll like one guy's stuff, and then it'll change execution style. Out of New Jersey, he changed the game and started doing like 3D cubes with metal flake.
And the honeycombs. And
just, he stepped out of the box. So to me, it's like, I've been going to car shows since I was
3D cubes on a flat surface?
Yeah.
He'll do all the
like Hubert,
shading
like
and
Hubert style.
Yeah.
Like
time consuming.
Like 3-dimensional.
Yeah, dude. And then he would do it falling out of the paint job. He would like, the first time I seen his stuff was, I think, probably 6 years ago at SEMA. And he did it on a motorcycle. And I was walking with Bugs and Danny. And I was like, dude, look at that shit right there. And it was like these cubes that were coming out of the saddlebag. And I was like, this is fucking bad. Like, this guy's changing it. This guy's trying to do something different, you know?
Yeah.
And now the guy's he's destroying it, man. He does a lot of baggers out of Texas and Daytona, Florida and stuff. And he's got work. He's like nationwide. And he's sponsored by PPG. Mostly bikes. Yeah. It's amazing stuff. He's on Instagram at Execution Style.
I'm actually pulling up a picture right now.
So, yeah, you want to show him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bad. But, so his stuff I really like. And then, always Bugs and Danny are my, you know, inspiration a lot, you know?
Oh, shit. Whoa.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
That's sick. Is he masking that or airbrushing that, or how's
he
doing?
Mask airbrushes.
And it's just the way you lay down the shading to give it that effect, that illusion.
It's just time consuming, but it's worth it.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And no one's done that on a car yet?
Oh, we've seen it come out on cars, but it's like, you know, Execution Style was like one of the earlier guys that was doing it.
No, he was the first one to do it.
He was?
Yeah. That style?
So, yeah.
Yeah. He was the first one I've seen to do that.
The graffiti letters inside the patterns is going to come pretty soon too, right?
He does that too.
Does he?
Yeah. He did that
send me that so I could check
I'll send you some links. Yeah. But him and then Masa, you know, Cisneros stuff is impeccable. It's unbelievable.
I want to meet that guy, dude. I know he's coming to San Diego, and I didn't get a chance to meet him. I'm a fan of his work. That dude's badass. I've worked with some good dudes. That dude Fudumai.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you knew this, but Fudumai learned from Masa.
Really?
Yeah. Fudumai was Masa's student.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything or heard.
He doesn't do it anymore.
What's he doing?
Nobody knows. Masa doesn't even know.
He's come out here. And but you know,
I know
in Japan, there's like cultural things, or things go down and people just disappear, or they just change. You know,
I was talking to that one dude that had he was with Dead End for a while. Yoshi, what was his name?
Yeah. I think or Dead End or
his thing was called
Us versus Them.
What was it? No, it was Dead End. What was it called? He had a book and everything. But those guys will do just like the classic Legends. Not Oreo. So they'll do things, and then they'll do it for like 5 years, and then they'll just move on to something else.
38 times? Those big books, those hard?
Yeah, that was Oreo.
No, I'm talking about Yoshi, and he did it was like something with Dead End, and he was like collaborating with him for a while. But he did that, and then he even told me, he was like, I won't do this no more. You're not going to see me again anymore.
I wonder what the roots of that are, like, because
I wonder if it's
sounds
like
kind of cool,
like a dishonor thing or something. Like you cut off your finger, you know, they do that,
or it's just a life thing. Like you're trying to, like, okay, I did that, I made my mark in that, I finished that,
I can leave it now.
Yeah. Now I'm done. I'm gonna go do this.
Maybe. We're kind of going with like that 69 I told you about in Japan.
I want to do that.
What did you say?
Remember that 69 that they just junked?
The one that Cos painted?
Yeah.
Wow.
What happened?
Because the guy wasn't interested anymore. So they junked the car. That this guy Cos, I think he's in Tokyo, right?
Yeah, he's in Tokyo. I visited his shop, and we're at his shop, and you know we're tripping out and all the stuff on the walls, and I seen the hood on the wall right there. That 69. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty cool. He painted another one. You know, he liked it so much that he painted another one. And I told him, hey, Cos, that's cool. You made a replica of it. He's like, no, that's the one off the car. And I'm just like, what do you mean? He said, oh yeah, the car doesn't exist no more. And I'm just like, man, I think there's some kind of language barrier. You know, I was like, dude, what do you mean the car? He's like, yeah, guy threw it away. You know, he just, I guess something happened in his life, lost interest, and just completely got rid of the car.
To the junkyard.
And Cos was just,
we've all had those moments, but we've never done it.
You know? So Cos,
you know what I mean? Like,
Cos just
how many times have you said, fuck this car?
Yeah.
The fuck? Fuck this car.
Watch me now. I'm going to throw it. You know?
I'm going to take it to El Pulpo.
Yeah. But they actually do it.
Yeah.
They actually do it.
Yeah. And this guy went to that extreme, you know, and that actually happened.
But I wonder how good that felt.
To just throw away?
Yeah.
I guess he must have had it.
I mean, it could feel kind of like it's satisfying.
I could do that. Maybe, you know, he's like, just throw it away, you know?
Yeah. I'm done with it.
Dunzos.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyways, anything else you guys or anybody you guys want to shout out, say what's up to, you know?
We'll say a shout out to David Baca. You know, kind of we had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely a big influence on me.
Yeah.
You know, he's the one that runs the whole
we
teenager
call him,
stuff.
We have a couple names for him. We're just going to leave those alone.
Right.
But
I'm going to give a shout out to Johnny Adkins.
Blabs. Johnny Blabs.
It's my fault.
That's two in a row.
Johnny Blabs.
Johnny Blabs. That's the legend, bro.
That's right. He is.
Fellow Riviera owner too?
He is. He just got a Rivy. He's got a couple. We call him White Johnny. Babyface Johnny,
Chicano Johnny,
Lowrider Johnny,
and
J.A. all day.
And
I, my personal favorite, Johnny Blabs.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you gotta get him on here one time, dog.
Right?
Dude, I'd have to put a week aside.
Just be able to cover all that material.
Yeah. What about Rocky, Gus?
Rocky, Gus, Elsie Alex, Areli.
That's right.
Everybody just at the house, and Bugs, Danny. I hope he's doing better right now.
What do you put in your hair?
Right now?
Yeah.
Johnny B's.
So Johnny B's.
Shout out to Johnny B.
Ron's pinstriping.
Shout out to Ron's pinstriping. I'm wearing a shirt right now.
That's right.
Ron Hernandez.
Johnny Sweats. That's right. All right, man. That's it. We're out.
That's a wrap.
Lower Left Podcast. Manny Cisneros. Johnny Market, aka
Hey,
Mercado.
can we go out with a Morrissey song too?
Johnny Sweats, no.
No? Oh, okay.
No, not you. The Morrissey song.
No.
Hey, no, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we could do that, but then
Okay, we
you know,
can then.
Yeah.
We'll
Just
go
for
out.
Manny.
People were.
He might trip though.
But
He might
can
get
you
a
make
fucking
it like
cease
a
and
real,
desist letter.
Don't
do
turn
a-
off the podcast right
no,
away.
do a real crybaby Morrissey song. What's a big crybaby Morrissey song that's your favorite?
Fuck, I don't know.
All of a sudden.
All of them.
Yeah,
How about The More You Ignore Me? Everybody knows that one.
I don't.
The more you ignore me, the closer I get.
I'm already crying.
All right, Johnny Market, Cisneros, Johnny Sweats, Bobby Tribal Lower Left Podcast, 17th and Island, San Diego, California. Tribal Click, we're out.